Do you want to know the truth about 2-1 buydowns? We are seeing this product pushed very hard out there in the marketplace, so stay tuned till the end so we'll tell you all the secrets about this one. I'm here today with Nick Morgan. Nick is one of our, what is your position here right now?
You know, I'm kind of everything, learning the whole operation systems from post-closing to underwriting. I actually just completed the MBA underwriting course.
Yeah, congratulations, by the way.
So thank you. I appreciate it. So yeah, I'm everything and anything in between, basically.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
And I love having you on this show because you're of that age where you and your buddies are starting to buy or look at buying houses.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And they usually have good questions for you, don't they?
Yeah, they do. And I get the sporadic questions here and there, and some I know, some I don't know. So it's always a very valuable thing to come on this podcast, get the information from one of the best.
Cool.
Yeah.
So you talked to me in private about this 2-1 buydown. You said your buddy was looking at a house at a builder or something, and they were pushing the 2-1 buydown.
Yeah. So I have been hearing a lot, not just from him, but one other person as well, where I hear about this product, the 2-1 buydown, and I was a little bit unfamiliar with it. I know there's like ARMs, fixed rate, things that people are typically familiar with, but the 2-1 buydown is a little bit different. So what exactly is the 2-1 buydown?
All right. So the 2-1 buydown is basically, let's say the note rate is 8% today. I'm not quoting a rate. You know, this is not advertisement, so I'm not. We don't need an APR at this point. But let's just pretend today's rate is 8%. A 2-1 buydown says that the first year the rate is going to be 6%, so it's going to be 2% less than the note rate. The second year, it's going to go to 1% less than the note rate, which would be 7% in this case. And then in the third year, it'd go to the note rate, which is 8%.
Right. And then how much, with permanent discount points, you pay a certain amount to buy down the rate. How much does this type of loan cost?
So you're asking me how much a 2-1 buydown costs?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let me go through a scenario on this. Let's talk about what it saves, okay?
Sure.
Because I'll show you this. This is going to be fun. I have my notes over here. So let's just pretend we're in Brevard County, right? Mm-hmm. So in Brevard County, the average price of a home is probably north of $380,000, let's say. So let's use, for making this easy, let's just say it's $400,000.
Sure.
Okay, so this particular situation, the buyer's buying a $400,000 house. And the loan amount's $320,000. So they're putting 20% down. Mm-hmm. Okay, so it's $320,000 in this scenario. And let's just pretend the note rate today is 8%. I'm not advertising. That's not today's rate. This is just for demonstration purposes. And so that gives you a principal interest payment of $2,348. Okay. So in the 2-1 buydown situation, that first year at a 6% rate, that payment's $1,919. So $1,919. So that's a $429 savings. The second year, that payment's going to go to $2,129. And I'm not trying to bore you with these numbers. I'm going to get to a point, I promise. So that's a savings of $219. So overall, the first year they saved $429 times 12, which is $5,148. That's pretty cool, right? Mm-hmm. The second year of $219 at times 12 months of payments, that's savings of $2,628. So overall, that's a savings of $7,776. And I bet you, as a borrower, your buddies are like, man, I saved $7,766.
Right, yeah, absolutely.
That happens to be my birthday, by the way. That's how old I am. But so that sounds pretty cool. Now you asked me how much it costs.
Right.
Do you want to guess how much this costs?
If
it's hard to guess.
If I'm a lender and I see that number and we do the math, I would expect it to cost a little bit less. So I don't know, maybe $7,000.
Okay, here's the fun part, and this is one of those truths. This is important. Just pay attention. The cost of this 2-1 buydown. Remember, you saved $7,776. The cost is exactly what you saved. So the cost that you would pay the lender is $7,776.
That's very interesting.
Why?
Well, you would think that if you're buying an alternative product that saves you money within those first 2 years, that it would actually save you money.
How much money did you save?
Well, $0.
Oh, okay.
In that case. So, yeah. So, yeah, right. If you're getting an alternative product and it's being advertised to you as something that saves you money, I would expect it, hopefully, to save you more than $0.
Right.
Yeah.
So I mean, a question, like people say, well, why would someone do this?
Yeah.
Why would someone do this?
I think they probably see those savings, or if someone else is paying that 7,776.
It's funny you should say that, because like your buddy found out, the builder said, we'll pay for this thing, right?
Yeah.
But who really pays? Who really pays? Do you really save money? Is there such thing as a free lunch?
In this case, it doesn't seem like it.
No.
Yeah.
So there's an argument that says the seller can pay it. Yes, they can. Yes, seller can pay it. And we do these loans, but when we explain to the borrower that basically it's like, look, we'll hold your money for you and we'll give it back to you over time. The cost is exactly what you save. So it's like saying, Joe, hold my money and give it back to me over the next 2 years.
Right.
Why would you do that?
I'm not sure. I wouldn't want that.
Well, so the seller can pay it, but they can also pay your closing costs.
Right.
So you can have them pay $7,776 of your closing costs at closing to reduce your closing costs. So you get the dollar for dollar benefit today. Because the seller at the end of the day doesn't really care what they pay for, whether it's a 2-1 buy down, closing costs, or something else in the transaction that they're allowed to pay for, as long as it meets all the eligibility and requirements. Because it's going to net them $7,776 less on the transaction. Yeah. So you can say, listen, thanks for offering the buy down, but can I just use that to pay for my closing costs? And that would put $7,776 more in your pocket today, not over the next 2 years.
Right.
And think about this, credit cards. Credit card debt is on the rise. So if that person has a lot of credit card debt, they could potentially take that money that they saved from paying closing costs, pay off credit card debt today, and save them 15, 20, 25% interest over the next, the life of that. They might have paid a lot more than that for that credit card debt.
Absolutely. With
minimum payments that take them, 160 months to pay back.
Right.
But they paid it off today.
Yeah.
So yeah, it is a conundrum. I know a lot of people are out there pushing it, and I still am unclear why.
Right. I get you. Well, in that case, can we do the 2-1 buy down? I know we don't typically do it, but can we do it?
Yeah, sure, we can do it.
Right.
We can do it. And when we explain to them the cost is going to be the benefit, the clients are like, why would I do that? What world does this make sense? And I'll be honest, some people say, look, that makes sense to me. I don't trust myself, not to spend that money other ways. And I will, I'll do that. Right. But a lot of people will say, but the seller is paying for it. Yes, but the seller would be willing to pay for other things as well.
Right.
Instead of that.
You went over a little bit of them. I guess my question would be, because we see a lot of permanent buy down.
Right.
Would they be willing to permanently lower the rate?
Well, sure. They can use that $7,776 in this scenario to help pay down a loan permanently.
Right.
Right. So, that money could go towards points. So if this was a $320,000 loan, 1 point is 1% of the loan amount. Rule of thumb is it gets you 0.25% off the interest rate, but that's for the life of the loan. That's not for temporary purposes.
Right. Yeah. So yeah, that would be my mindset as well. Where else could that money go?
Right.
Could it be, a permanent change?
Correct.
That's what I would think about.
Cool.
Are there any other benefits besides saving money, not saving money? Are there any benefits that you think could go to the borrower for this product?
It's really meant to help the borrower get into a lower payment. Right. And in the minds of the people pushing this, it helps the borrower get into a lower payment, and then hopefully that rates go down and they can refinance, or maybe they have a rising income and they'd rather, or maybe their commission sales, and this helps with the payment. There's a lot of reasons why people might think that they need this product, or maybe they really do. Maybe they can't. They're not disciplined. And if they're given $7,776 today, that they can't change that. They can't. They'll blow it today, and they won't save that money over time. So there are some purposes where if people aren't disciplined enough or don't trust themselves to save the money on their own or use it for better means, that this might be right for them.
Right.
But if you're buying a $400,000 home, putting 20% down, you've done the right things to get there. I'd imagine they can handle it themselves.
Yeah, I totally agree. So like you said, one of the things is a lot of lenders will say, hey, you can just refinance this later.
Right.
But what happens if the rates don't go down?
Well, that's the thing, is if the rates don't go down and they can't refinance it, that now next year their payment's going to go up. What do we say? it's, the first year you're saving $429. Second year it goes up by $219. And so that might put the squeeze on them. Year 3, it's going to go up another $219 in this scenario.
Right.
That, and $429 increase in payment over 2 years. If you didn't, in the thought that people tell people that you can refinance, well, they don't know their situation. Yeah. Maybe in 2 years they might be out of job. Rates might not go down. Something else, they might not qualify for the loan, other reasons. So I never like to tell someone to go into a situation with the exit strategy of refinancing later at a lower rate.
Right. Yeah.
It might not happen. Now, I will tell you that all the talking heads, myself included, at the beginning of the year thought that the rates would become lower by now, and they are simply not. Right. And then the forecast of that keeps moving because economic uncertainty, the economy seems to still be doing well in some sectors and not well in others.
Right.
And there's not a flight to quality to bonds. And I don't want to get overcomplicated. The rates just haven't gone down yet.
Yeah.
So
it seems to be trending that way all year.
Yeah.
A little bit up.
And hopefully they will go down. But I can't,
Right.
I'm not going to tell someone to bank their financial future on hope.
Absolutely.
So,
so I know we're not pushing these. So in a sense, who is pushing these?
Well, yeah, by saying we're not pushing them, I mean, if someone comes to us looking for them, we'll tell them all the pros and cons. And if they want to do it, we'll by all means execute that loan for them. Mm-hmm. But who's pushing them? I mean, I think a lot of people out there are trying to find creative ways to help the borrower ease into a payment. I don't think that there's any wrongdoing being done out there. I don't think people are purposefully trying to trick people into a loan that doesn't benefit them. I think they're trying to get their heads wrapped around the higher interest rates and easing them into that. But they also got to realize that these people might have higher interest rates on credit debt. They might have an auto loan that's higher than these loans also that could be paid off with this money that they can save if they just use that money to pay off their closing costs instead of pulling money out of pocket for their closing costs, or buying down the rate permanently and things like that. So there's a lot of other options. This is not the only option out there to help people get into homes and understand their payment and ease into a payment or a total debt and payment situation that we can help with looking at their credit. Mm-hmm. If we look at someone's credit profile and see that they have $7,776 of credit debt at 25% interest, well, geez, wouldn't it make a lot more sense to pay that off
for sure
instead of paying this off? And the way you do that is you don't get the money for the 2-1 buy down. You use that to pay the closing costs, and that's a dollar for dollar savings that they can use to spend that money elsewhere. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, that completely makes sense. And it's basically where you're allocating that money that you could potentially have the builder pay for you. And it looks like there's a few better options and
possible
better options. So,
but there are options.
Yeah,
this isn't the only one.
Exactly. Okay. But thank you, Joe. I really appreciate all the answers. That was super, super helpful. And I'll get back to my buddies on that one.
All right, cool. If they have any questions, just like if you have any questions, call us directly. Email, make a comment down below, like, subscribe, share, check out our website, and we will see you next time. Thanks for joining us today. Thanks, Nick.
Yep. Thank you, Joe.
Okay.